In the world of data privacy, two giants are facing off. On one side, you have Europe's globe-spanning GDPR, which says your data is your personal right. On the other, a new US executive order that treats that same data as a national asset. So, which is it? And what happens when these two worlds collide?
This is really the central question, isn't it? Because how you answer this changes everything. Do you believe the data you create every single day is something you own, like a fundamental right? Or is it a strategic resource that a country needs to protect?
All right, let's meet our two contenders. Think of Europe's GDPR as a kind of global guardian, designed to protect individuals no matter where they are. And then you have America's Executive Order 14117, which acts more like a national sentinel, standing guard at the country's digital borders.
And right away, you can see just how different they are. GDPR, which kicked off back in 2018, is all about one thing: your individual privacy, and its rules have a massive global reach. The executive order, signed just in 2024, is laser-focused on U.S. national security. They have completely different missions from day one.
So let's dig a little deeper into the philosophy here. It's not just about what these laws do, it's about why they even exist. And trust me, their core missions could not be more different.
You see, GDPR is built on this really powerful yet simple idea. Your personal data isn't just another commodity to be bought and sold. It's a fundamental human right, just like freedom of speech. The entire goal is to put you back in the driver's seat.
Now flip that coin over. The U.S. executive order sees the world through a totally different lens. Its primary concern isn't your individual privacy. It's the risk that massive pools of American data, think huge genomic or location datasets, could be weaponized by foreign adversaries. In this view, data is a national asset to be defended.
Okay, so if the why is different, you can bet the how is going to be different too. And a great way to think about it is this. One is a broad shield meant to protect everyone. The other is a targeted spear aimed at a very specific threat.
This is where that shield and spear idea really comes to life. Let's look at the scope. GDPR is this massive shield. It applies to pretty much any organization anywhere in the world if it handles data from someone in the EU. The executive order, though, that's a spear. It's aimed only at bulk data deals with specific countries of concern. And the data itself? GDPR protects everything about you: your name, your health info, even your political opinions. The EO only targets very specific, sensitive data types when they're gathered in huge quantities. Now, you can have all the rules you want, but they're useless without enforcement. And GDPR is famous for its system, a system designed with some very, very real teeth.
You can really see the power behind GDPR here. It's not just one tool, it's a whole toolkit. First, authorities can launch investigations, they can issue warnings, they can even completely ban a company from processing data. Then, of course, come the fines, and we're talking massive fines. And so importantly, it gives individual citizens the right to go out and seek compensation for themselves.
The executive order's enforcement, on the other hand, is a completely different ballgame. It's much more of a top-down government directive. It's less about constantly checking every company for compliance and more about drawing very clear, very bright red lines.
So how does it work? It's really direct. The Department of Justice basically draws a hard line in the sand and says, you cannot sell this kind of bulk data to these specific countries, period. And for any transactions that are just restricted, not totally banned, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, that's CISA, steps in to create strict security rules. It's absolute.
All right, so we've covered the theory. We've talked about the rules. But what's the actual impact in the real world? Well, this is where one of these regulations creates a massive global wave that changes an entire industry, while the other creates a strategic ripple, and its effects are really just starting to spread. This number, it kind of says it all. Over 1.5 billion euros. That's how much has been handed out in GDPR fines through 2024. A number that big isn't just a slap on the wrist, it's a shockwave that forced every major company on the planet to sit up, pay attention, and completely change how they do business. And those massive fines led directly to something experts call the Brussels effect. See, for big global companies, it's way easier to just have one high standard for data privacy instead of trying to manage dozens of different local rules. So what did they do? Many of them just adopted GDPR's strict rules for all their users all over the world. Basically, Europe wrote the rulebook, and the rest of the world started playing by it. Now, when you look at the executive order, the timeline tells a very different story. It shows you just how new this all is. It was only signed in February of 2024, and the key rules from the DOJ and CISA are literally being finalized as we speak. So its story, well, it's really just beginning.
And it's so important to remember the goal here. The success of this order won't be measured by asking, hey, do people feel like their privacy is more protected now? No, the real question, the only one that matters here, is has this reduced the ability of foreign adversaries to get their hands on American data? It's a totally different way of measuring success.
So with these two powerful yet very different frameworks both in play, what does this all mean for the future of our data? We have two clashing philosophies operating at the same time, shaping everything. It all comes back to this fundamental divide. GDPR is a rights-based law. It's all about regulating the relationship between you and the companies that hold your data. The executive order, it's security-focused. It regulates the relationship between American companies and foreign powers.
But when you really think about it, these two frameworks aren't necessarily at war with each other. A system that protects your individual rights can exist alongside a system that protects national security interests. They're just different tools, designed to do different but equally important jobs. Which leaves us with this final question. As data becomes maybe the most critical asset of our time, for us as individuals and for entire nations, what model is going to win out? Will the future of data protection belong to the broad shield of individual rights, the targeted spear of national security, or, to truly be safe, are we going to need both?